All right, then. So I want to be sensitive to everybody's time. I'm going to get this webinar kicked off. Again, as my name is Greg Ling. I am one of the sales directors, life sales directors over here at IAMS. I want to welcome you along here again. We're going to be going over um, Illinois Mutual and then kind of what they have to offer us on the disability side. Primarily, they do have some other products as well. Um, just to kind of remind all of our advisors on here, if you're not currently contracted with us, we do have a new producer bonus that we offer to all of our advisors. They have 180 days for their initial qualification period. With this, as you'll see, there's many different things you can select from. Again, once you hit a certain level of production, remember, like with me being on the life side, that is, if you get 10 times the target for the dollar amount here. It's not dollar for dollar on the life. It's 10 times the target premium. For annuities, it is dollar for dollar. But again, just another way to kind of help you guys as you come over to us to really drive some more business. And the way it is again, you pick one of these levels once you hit that certain level, and then that's what you receive from us. So at IAMS, we're always here looking to figure out, how we can help you grow your business, because it comes down to a simple thing of, if your business is growing and your revenue is increasing, and so is ours. And so we're always here looking for different ways on how to help drive your business. We know you're coming to the end of 2022. You're starting to do kind of, if you're on the life side, we probably got about maybe a week or two before we can, for business that's going to go through this year. And so you're starting to kind of probably do some, reviewing your IMO relationship and reviewing your marketing. Again, just we're definitely here to help you out with that. We also have, if you are currently with us, we do have a referral program where essentially you get an upfront payment, as well as basically, as you see the percentages on there, a cut of any business that they submit. Also, once you get past that initial new producer bonus, we also have our marketing reimbursement plan, where again, for every, we pay, we give you money that you can use for your marketing. So again, for every 100,000 of SPL, you get $200 of marketing reimbursement, and for every $10,000 of target life premium, you get $200. And again, this is money that you can buy things and then send us the bill for, and then we will pay you out just for writing business with us. Again, we do offer really great back office support. We like to say it as submission to commission support. So again, we like to say around here, put us on your staff, not your payroll. Again, we have people here that will continually follow up on your business and make sure that it is getting processed in a timely manner. And we also want you as the agent to be focused on making sales, going out there what is the most profitable use of your time, and case management is not the most profitable use of your time if you are an agent. So again, we're also, I'm also here. The other back office support, someone like me as a life sales director, who, yes, I can run illustrations for you, but it's also to bring you sales ideas. We're not just, a quote engine. We're also here to say, have you thought about this concept or this idea, and throw out some different ideas to you, as well as just do what you ask us to do as well. We also have a great website. If you're not checked it out, it's imsinc.com. Lots of different good things on there. On the life side, we'll look more at, we do have a term and GUL quote engine that you can easily go pull up, about 30 different carriers right away to see kind of which ones are going to be, the most competitive. You're going to see a lot of updated news on there. You'll see about the different, we're really big here on marketing too. You'll see our different sales kits up there as well. We just released our LTC Awareness Month sales kit, because November is LTC Awareness Month. And so if you are interested in that, let us know. And again, this is all to help you drive more business to come in, in whatever way we can do that for you. And wherever area you focus in, or a different area where you're looking to try to grow in, that's really what we're here to do for you. There's also a great sales resource library once you are appointed with us, that has a bunch of different white papers and different collateral and things that you can use, for presentations and that sort of thing, to really help you seal more deals. On the annuity side of things here, we do have Firelight, where you can submit your applications through. There's a couple of life providers on Firelight as well. On the life side, you'll do more through our IGO, which also is available through there. Again, we're moving more and more to the e-app sort of space. Again, as an advisor, I always liked e-apps because then it would make sure I'd likely wouldn't miss any information that was required. You know, when you're doing the e-app, it tells you you have to put in this information. Again, we do also have our own in-house creative marketing team. We don't use a third party. These are people that specialize in the financial space. I know a lot of people use a lot of different marketing companies, but that marketing company could, you know, market for any different number of industries, and they're not going to be as, you know, specific or to the point for the financial services space. And again, that's one thing that another thing that IAMS focuses on is really being creative with your marketing and being pointed. You know, you guys are in the financial services space, and so we really have all of that, you know, at the tips of our fingers. And we also even do a lot of times with new advisors, we have a complementary marketing analysis. And so what that is we take a look at your practice and what you have going on and what you're looking to do, and then we go through about I think it's about 30 strategic marketing partners to kind of throw out some suggestions to you, to consider. We always want you to make that final choice, because we know in marketing there is no one silver bullet. There's not one thing that will work for everybody, and so we want to make sure that we're offering you a customized marketing plan. Because again, it comes back to that simple thing for me of, if you're making more money, then we're making more money, and it's really as simple as that. Because we want to be an IMO that's driving your revenue. I believe every IMO will pretty much process your business as it comes through the door, because they want to get paid. But here at IAMS, we really want to drive more business to you, you know, so it's mutually beneficial for both parties. You know, and that's one of the main reasons why I came to work here at IAMS as a life sales director, is because of the attention on marketing. We do have a number of different kind of programs available to you if you're contracted with us. We have the retirement analyzer, which is good, where you can input, you know, a person's assets and how much money they want to have coming out of it, and just kind of illustrate that out. We have another one called Stonewood, which shows people the difference of putting money into a qualified account versus putting it into an IUL, and the real big difference of the difference between paying taxes on the harvest instead of the seed. So just showing them the advantages of, if we pay taxes up front, you know, instead of paying it in retirement, how much more they could potentially make. So again, just some different pieces to help you close more deals. We also have IAMS Wealth Management. It is our RIA. So if you are securities licensed, we do have that. They do have the same amazing service and marketing over there. So if you're also interested in that, you can let us know. You see our Facebook and LinkedIn page here. Yeah, and this is the other thing I throw out is we just made an announcement about our trip. So we have 18-month qualification period here at IAMS. So it goes from July 1st of this year through the end of next year. We're going to Kiowa Island in South Carolina. A lot of good golfing out there. The entrance is 4.5 million. And again, remember, on the life insurance side, you do get 10 times on any target life premium. And even right now, we're offering double trip credits for a business that is placed before the end of November. And with that, I'm going to hand this over to Dave Plum from Illinois Mutual, and he's going to start talking about that. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to put up a poll to see just a little feel out on how many of you are currently selling disability insurance. So let me go ahead and put that up. All right, thank you for that. So, all right, and then I'll say, yep, Dave, looks like you're up and running. Just so you know, it's at about how 80% of the people that voted said they do not currently sell disability.
Hey, therein lies our opportunity. So absolutely. Hey, Greg, appreciate that. And let me just ask, I always kind of screw this up a little bit on my end. Are you able to see the presentation okay, the tactics, tools, and support to sell DI?
We can see it, but we can see the next slide plus like the notes.
Okay, so it is that. Let me swap those.
There it is. Yep,
there it is. Well, awesome. Well, Greg, as you indicated, I'm Dave Plum. I'm the Disability Income Sales Manager here at Illinois Mutual, and it sounds like this group is not too uncommon from a lot of the folks that I work with, because it's funny when I think about disability insurance. Sure, there are other carriers that are out there, but I mean, just from where we see it, I mean, I'm looking for shelf space and what it is that agents do day in and day out. We've got long-term care, we've got life insurance, we've got annuities. You were talking about your RIA that you have set up. So, I mean, really with us, let's don't overlook the client's ability to earn an income, because the income is the engine that drives everything, whether it's those life insurance premiums that you're getting, the assets that you're gathering, when you're looking at safe money places. So I always kind of like to start out with, what is disability insurance? And here's what it is. DI protects one of your client's most valuable assets, and that's their ability to earn an income. That's really what we're looking at. And when I take it a step further, it's any accident or illness that keeps a person being able to work. Thinking about it, what if your last paycheck was indeed your last paycheck? There's a reason why all of us come to work. One of the important factors there is the ability to earn an income. I always pose the following question to folks when I'm talking to them. When was the last time you took a 6-month vacation, an 8-month vacation, maybe even 2 years? It's funny because when you ask your clients that, they're going to look at you like kind of bewildered and be like, well, I've never done that. You know why that is? I couldn't afford it. There's a reason why I'm working. I'm in my earning years. So being able to protect a client's most valuable asset is really what we're looking at. And, really with today, I want to be able to bring to you a couple of sales ideas, a couple of marketing items that are out there that you can basically go and incorporate into what it is that you're doing. Because, when you think about some of the objections that are out there, you think of Social Security, workers' comp, things like that. Man, those are tough. And I say that because if you've ever known anybody that's had to qualify for Social Security, for example, I'll just tell you, the process is not quick, it's not easy, and it's not painless, okay? I brought up workers' comp. Everybody thinks that they're covered through workers' comp, and if you're an employee, you are. However, as you kind of peel back that onion and look at the statistics that are out there, when you look at the vast overall disability claims that you see, less than 5% of those are accident related. And oh, by the way, not all of those accidents happen on the job. So again, just kind of bringing that, front of mind, kind of what disability is. And I really always like to talk about fit. I've been doing this disability gig now for the better part of 20 years. And when you look at the landscape of the carriers that were there, I look at 20 years ago, who was in the marketplace? There were quite a bit more carriers than what we're seeing right now. If I look at the list and I try to boil it down to who's doing what, there's really about a dozen, I would say, good carriers that are out there. And, really, where do we fit? What are some of the, kind of where we fit, who we serve, and all that stuff? I'll just tell you, when I think of Illinois Mutual, it's that middle America, blue, gray, white collar folks that are making, I'd say, anywhere from 150,000 or less. That's really kind of who we are, what we do. Return of premium, I'll I'll give some more information about that one here in just a little bit, but return of premium's been a cornerstone of, you know, who we are. We've had it around for quite a while. We've refunded a lot to our policy owners, and it's straightforward. It's great to overcome those objections of, well, what if I never use this? What if I never get sick or hurt and unable to work? It's like, well, good. Let me show you a way how you can get all your money back. When I think about the wide range of prospects that we can write, we write darn near anybody. And we're always looking to add to that list of folks that we can underwrite. Man, when we've got an A to Z listing, our underwriting guide starts with accountants and with zookeepers and just about everything in between that you can think of. We write the vast majority of occupations that are out there. And then along with the, you know, great folks there at IMES, you know, we're easy to do business with, you know, whether it's myself, our internal team, underwriting, we're there to make it easy for you. So again, target market, where we're at, who we serve. I think a better way to look at this is really the hidden opportunity, because disability insurance just kind of as a whole, most of the, got a little click happy there. Let me go to the previous slide. There we go. When I look at the hidden opportunity that's out there, and I was talking about the disability landscape, the vast majority of those carriers out there currently doing individual disability insurance are writing that tip of the iceberg. They're the ones that are writing the medical folks, the high-level executives, the folks well into six figures. But I mean, it's an easy conversation to have that everybody's income is important to them. You know, we just look at, you know, when you think of this iceberg, you think of the other 95% of the iceberg that you can't see. So those are the folks that we represent. And I mean, when you look at it from a population standpoint, that's a lot of folks that are out there. Sure, don't get me wrong, I love to write medical folks, those big disability premiums, but man, I tell you, the bread and butter of what it is that we do, that middle America, 150,000 or less, that's kind of the cornerstone of who we are and what we do. I always like to point out too that, you know, just a couple of statistics that I want you to have in your hip pocket. You know, as we look at the one there on the right-hand side, everybody thinks that folks are covered by group plans. And I'll just tell you, that's really not the case. You know, there's only about a third of the population that has access to a group plan. And if you have those clients that are fortunate enough to have something through their employer, man, I would just tell you, make sure you're asking 3 follow-up questions. And it's very simple. How much do you get? When does it start? And how long does it go? Because I'll be the first one to tell you, not all group plans are created the same. So now, and again, it's easy to get that buy-in as far as, you know, prospects, clients to understand that their income's important to them. Okay, so if they are fortunate enough to have something through their employer, let's make sure we have an idea of what it is that they do have. And if, you know, if it's provided by the employer and say it is a 50 or 60% plan, well, guess what? That's a taxable benefit. They're not receiving that full 60% of their income. And oh, by the way, I question on what's actually counted as a client's income. So, I mean, I just kind of say this because there are ways that group insurance is it's a great thing to have for folks. However, it's not an end-all be-all, and a lot of times there's still a gap. We can look an individual plan on top of those group plans and fill in that gap, okay? Another thing that I would point out to you is that, you know, when I look at who it is that we write, again, getting back to that middle America, nearly 63% of Americans would experience financial difficulties if their paychecks were delayed for a week. I mean, just think about that. Just let that set in for a bit. Well, what if instead of their paychecks delayed for a week, what if it's 3 months, 6 months, or maybe even a year or two? What's your client's going to do then? Because more times than not, they're going to be able to weather that storm if it's a week, maybe a couple of weeks. But once we start going out and getting into that 3 to 6 month time period, man, you're looking at folks that would be in a world of hurt. And I just kind of, as we're talking about disability insurance, that how much do you get? When does it start? How long does it go? That really kind of helps tailor the plan design that we're really known for, okay? I'll just tell you, if I'm thinking about it right out of the gate, at minimum, what do your clients need? They need a mug plan. So at minimum, let's make sure that we cover their mortgage, their utilities, their groceries. At minimum, I think that's what each of your clients should have, okay? Whether I'm sitting here in Fort Wayne, Indiana this morning. So I look at a typical mortgage, what is that, 1,000, 1,500, utilities, throwing a few $100, groceries, again, that's say $500 or so. But, when we're looking at that, we're really looking at, say, a typical plan that would be anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000 a month of monthly benefits. So again, just kind of what's the minimum starting point? I would run with this track, okay? Where do we fit within, what are some of the things as to why Illinois Mutual, while our plans take you out to normal Social Security retirement age, they're guaranteed renewable, they're on or off the job, it's 24/7 coverage, the non-integrated benefits, so that, hey, if we have a base benefit that we're writing on your clients, as I was looking at that mug plan and say we wrote them a $2,500, $3,000, $3,500 a month benefit, that's not offset by Social Security, workers' comp, or any sort of governmental assistance. That gets paid to your clients by us, the carrier, and anything that they receive from those outside governmental sources is just gravy on top. And again, just kind of from a taxability standpoint, just like what you see with those life insurance premiums, if it's paid for with after-tax dollars, that's going to be a tax-free benefit payable to your client. So again, just kind of what are some of those features, things about Illinois Mutual, and not just our disability plan, but I also want to talk to you a little bit about those business expense. You might also know them as a business overhead plan, because I tell you what, if you're working with those small business owners that are out there, that's huge. A lot of times those folks don't even know that those plans are out there and available to them. So who do we write? What are some of those plan designs that we write? Again, how much do you get? When does it start? How long does it go? What middle America is telling us is they can't make it too long without a paycheck. So that really kind of coincides with what our popular plan design is. Because if you look out there in the disability marketplace, a lot of the plans that are sold are those 90-day waiting periods, benefit periods out to age 65, 67, to age 70, with all the bells and whistles. And again, and I'll just tell you, we have the ability to create those Cadillac plans. We can do it all day long. However, what we see is our clients are really on a Chevy budget. So when we're looking at the affordability, getting that mug plan, the most popular plan that we write out there is that 30-day waiting period with a 2-year benefit period. And I'll just tell you, that 2-year benefit period satisfies over 75% of the disability claims that are out there. And what we do, just because you think about the levers that you're able to pull when it comes to disability insurance, like the waiting period, the benefit period, things like that. I'll be the first one to tell you, we can absolutely do a 30-day waiting period. So we get those benefits to your client as quickly as possible, have them payable out to age 67. I'll just tell you, those plans are super expensive. Very rarely do they get sold. When you see that shorter elimination period, you piggyback that with a shorter benefit period, and that really creates these price points of, say, $50 to $100 a month. That, again, that's really kind of our bread and butter. Now, if you have those clients that are better savers, that can weather the storm if something were to happen, say for a couple of months. They've got their 3 to 6 month nest egg, if you will. We can absolutely write those longer benefit periods, 90-day out to age 67. And typical premiums are on there, anywhere from 70 to 150. That's really kind of our sweet spot. That's we see a lot of those cases come in that way. A couple of riders that are out there, we've got over a dozen optional riders / features that you can add on to a policy. Here are a couple that we see on a pretty regular basis. The retroactive injury benefit, that just means that it's a first day accident policy. Your client satisfies that waiting period. Once they've hit that elimination period, we go back to day one and pay them those monthly benefits if indeed their disability was the result of an accident. So that's a retroactive injury benefit. Do we have pure ONOC? Absolutely. Guaranteed insurability, that just means, hey, as your client's income goes up over time, they're able to buy more coverage and they don't have to qualify medically. They've already done that at the time of the initial application. This is just, they need to qualify for it financially and support those increases over time. Great way to, as a person's income is growing, add this on there. If their income's set to go up over the years, why not? Because the benefit amount for them now may not be the needed benefit amount they need in, say, 5-10 years, and they're able to execute those every couple of years. So again, great add-on that we see. Activities of daily living, that's just, think about that in terms of a catastrophic rider. It's one thing if your client can't do their job, but we pay additional benefits in the event they're unable to perform 2 of the 6 ADLs. So when I think about that, that's really catastrophically disabled. And if there's a time when they need more income coming into them, it's when they're catastrophically disabled. So again, just kind of a great add-on. It's bang for the buck feature. Just it doesn't add a lot of premium. So that's, again, kind of where we see these. These are our bang for the buck. And we see a lot of these on many of the plans that we write. And again, I'll come back to return of premium. That one's huge for us. Keeping it simple, 1, 2, 3, run with the MUG plan. How much does my client need? How much do they get? How long does it last? How long does it go? Again, just kind of when you're having those conversations with your clients, at minimum, take this approach, that 1, 2, 3 / MUG approach in getting your clients income protection, because a lot of times disability insurance, I would say, is, it's hard for agents to talk about, but really there's 3 things that your clients are want to know. How much do they get paid? When does it start and how long does it go? And if you boil it down to that, everything else just kind of works out. So again, that 1, 2, 3 MUG approach, I started with that early in my career and I've continued to run with it. Return of premium, let me just spend a little bit of time on this, because I'll just tell you, not all return of premium is created the same. With us, it's 100% of your premiums minus any claims paid at age 65. We've had return of premium back since 1972. And to date, we've refunded over 170 million to our policy owners. So again, not gimmicky. What if I don't use my benefits? What happens? Well, hold it out to age 65. You're going to get every dime that you paid into it, minus any claims. Okay. What if I surrender it prematurely? Is there benefits that are payable, or is there a refund at that time? If it's within the first 4 policy years, no. After that time, 5th policy year and thereafter, think about it in terms of a vesting schedule. Okay, so each year after the 5th year, it goes up by a few percent. It starts anywhere from 11 to 13%, and that varies based on the age you were when you took out the policy. So again, that fifth year is anywhere from 11 to 13, and then it increases each year thereafter by a few percent, hitting 100% at 65. So again, that's something that we've had. It's what we're known for. And when you're looking at those policy designs, if you will, that 30-day, 2-year plan, which are really affordable, adding a few extra dollars to get return of premium, I'll just tell you from a persistency / placement standpoint, it bodes really well. As you can see, it's on nearly half the policies that we write here at Illinois Mutual. We're known as the return of premium king out there in the marketplace. And it's just, again, something that we've had for a really long time, and it's not going away anytime soon. You've probably seen this one before, the job A, job B. It's, again, just kind of a sales idea / concept for you to be able to bring it up when you're talking to your prospects. Job A is going to pay you $3,000 a month. However, if you get sick or hurt and you're unable to work, it pays you $0. We've got job B, which is close. It'll pay you $29.50 a month. However, if you get sick or hurt and you're unable to work, they'll pay you $2,000. So basically 2/3 of that income amount. What are your clients going to choose? Are they going to choose job A or job B? 100% of the time they're going to choose job B because they see that value, and man, something happens to me, there's that safety net there. There's no secret sauce. There's no magic here. It's that person with job B. They used $50 of their income to buy a disability plan. Oh, by the way, here's that mug plan, that 30-day, 2-year, get you a couple of thousand a month in the event you're sick or hurt and unable to work. But when you pose it like this, whether it's on a napkin, you're in your legal pad, just being able to show it this way, all of your folks out there are going to choose job B without a doubt. Here's one that often gets overlooked, and I don't exactly know why, other than I just don't think people know that this type of plan is out there. It's one thing if we're protecting a business owner's income, but man, if in the event they go down, they're still going to have ongoing obligations. Case in point, think about, I always ask a small business owner, how much do you make? And they'll give me that top line revenue, okay? So that top line revenue, and then my follow-up is, well, what do you show Uncle Sam? They'll kind of look at me, they'll laugh a little bit, and they'll be like, it's a number substantially less than that. So when I look at the difference between those two numbers, you know what that is? That's a business expense. Those are business expenses differentiating those two numbers, that revenue to that net amount, okay? We've got plans that are there to cover overhead. We realize people are going to write stuff off, so few things that we do for those business owners, we love to be able to write business owners, and when we do a disability plan along with an overhead plan, we're able to offer discounts on both. We realize folks are writing off stuff, so we bump up income by 25%. And oh, by the way, we've got disability insurance is made up of occupation classes. I'm going to reference something I said earlier. Remember that underwriting guide that starts with accountants and ends with zookeepers? Well, folks are going to have anywhere from a class 1 to a class 5 listing. If you're something other than a class 5 and you're a business owner, you've been doing it for a couple of years, you've been profitable, we'll take that, say, occupation class 2, we'll bump you up to a class 3. Might not sound like a big deal. However, we just saved that client at least 30 to 40% going from an occupation class 2 to a 3. So it's available to those business owners because at the end of the day, they're a really good claim risk for us. They've worked there, they've worked really hard to get where they're at, okay? And the last thing that's going to keep them out of work is a disability. If they can return back to work, they will. This is their, hey, if they're not able to, we provide benefits that'll keep them afloat. both personally as well as those overhead expenses. For example, here's the fact finder that we utilize. What business owner do you know that doesn't have, say, a rent or a lease? Maybe they've got a company vehicle, employee salary, cell phones, things like that. And then also our plan covers depreciation. As those business assets are getting depreciated, that's a reimbursable expense that we can utilize on our business expense plan as well. Again, when asking which one do my clients need when they're a small business owner, my thing is you need both. You need to protect that income as well as the overhead expense, okay? Again, this one often gets overlooked, but by the time you apply the 5% discount on both plans, it works out really well. We sell a lot of these combination plans, and a lot of folks that know about those BE plans, that business plan out there, when they're talking to their small business owners, more times than not, they're going to lead with that because that's a big chunk of what it is. So again, don't overlook these opportunities as well. We've got great marketing pieces. We've got the DI fact finders. Here's the business expense worksheet, working through this with your small business owners. Now let me talk about some of the occupations that we do right. When I think about those targeted occupations along with association plans, we've got special marketing pieces out there for the skilled trade folks, the barbers, the hairstylists. Yes, we do write roofers. We absolutely write truck drivers, mechanics, farmers, nurses. And I'll just tell you, if you're working with dental hygienists, nobody's going to underwrite them better than us. So again, we're always looking to add to these targeted marketing pieces, but if you're working with those type of occupations, that kind of naturally progresses over. More times than not, they're part of an association. We've got association plans that are out there that are available. I'll just tell you this, get an association plan set up with Illinois Mutual is super easy. There's an initial fact finder. We need a letter of endorsement from the association itself that they sign off on, send it back to us. We'll give you a template of what that looks like, what kind of the stuff that we need. We get it approved in about 24 hours, and then you as the agent own that discount code to be able to go out and write those specific occupations. For example, I've got a general contractors association that I'm working out in Maryland. When I think about Ohio, for example, we've got the Dental Hygienist Association. So again, some of the ones that you might not think about, however, that gets you in front of a lot of different folks. And at the end of the day, these are the occupations that we're writing. So again, just kind of a little bit about Illinois Mutual, where we fit, who are our target clients, things like that. One of the things that I always like to point out, the vast majority of the applications that we write are streamlined underwriting in nature. I'll put our non-medical limits up against just about anybody that's out there. So if you're 50 or younger and we're looking at benefit amounts of 5,000 or less, we're looking at non-med. If it's over 5,000, then blood, urine, paramed, those sorts of things. Also on the disability side, there's financial documentation. If you're a W-2 employee, $5,000 or less, there's no income documentation that's required. If you're a small business owner or you're looking for more than 5,000, here's kind of that grid. But again, I'll put these out there and compare them to anybody out there in our peer group. You'll see that these stack up pretty favorably. I guess I would just sum up this, that, from a baseline, we're super easy to do business with, but as your clients are older and they're looking at more benefits to get, we as an insurance company are going to need more stuff. But I'll just tell you, that's throwing up air quotes here, that stuff that we need is pretty liberal. I mean, when you think about what we require as opposed to other carriers, I think you'll find these very, very competitive. Couple of other things, just kind of, what else do we do? I mean, we write, I'll show you here in just a second, we underwrite farmers extremely well. And there's a very specific reason for that. We write part-time workers. We've got great W-2 upgrade programs that I'll talk a little bit about here in just a bit. If you have a stay-at-home spouse, for example, we're one of only a few carriers that'll write a stay-at-home spouse, okay? We need to get some coverage on the wage earning spouse, but sure, we can absolutely get coverage for that stay-at-home spouse. And then happy to announce I was saying earlier, we write darn near all of the occupations that are out there. I'll show you the list of some of the jobs that we just added that I think it will be surprising, because these are jobs that typically no other disability carriers out there are touching or even considering. Farmers, for example, you know what, at the end of the year, chances are they're not showing much in the way of income. And if they are, by the time you depreciate, say, the farm equipment and stuff like that, probably not showing a lot of taxable income to Uncle Sam. Well, guess what? Based on their herd size and or their acreage, we're able to get them coverage without showing a dime of income. To get disability insurance, you got to show an income. However, we made special concessions when it came to farmers. And when you look at, now, if you have those farmers that are showing a sizable income, we can absolutely underwrite them that. But from what we've seen in our experience, a lot of those folks aren't. So, hey, we're able to get them both $3,000 from a disability standpoint, as well as a business overhead expense. So we're looking at without showing a dime, again, that $6,000 of combined coverage. But again, if they are showing an income, we can financially underwrite them, not a problem there at all. But this is just, this is a program that we're always expanding. We rolled it out a number of years ago, and we've seen those limits go up because, I mean, let's face it, at the end of the day, farmers are a great claim risk for us. So they're the backbone of society, and if they can work, they are going to work. So we're able to offer these type of programs. I talked about the business owner upgrade. We also have something very similar to that if you're a W-2 employee and you're in a specific occupation, i.e. a carpenter, electrician, those skilled trade folks, your medical assistants, things like that. We also offer it for dental hygienists as well as dental assistants. It doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but if we're able to upgrade their occupation class from a 1 to a 2, a 2 to a 3, and so on, man, we're able to get some amazing price points. And those occupations over the years, again, we've been doing DI for a really long time. We're just finding that those jobs are great claim risk for us. So we're able to offer some special programs. So again, if you're working within that skilled trade the skilled trade marketplace, folks like this that you're seeing listed here, take a look and see if they're available for the upgrade, because I'll tell you, our premiums are extremely competitive when we apply these upgrades to those occupations of the ones that are listed. Our premiums are pretty much untouchable. We do an amazing job there. Again, some of the new occupations that we're looking to write, hardly anybody out there writes bar owners, bartenders, wait staff, things like that. Logging industry, that's another huge one that's out there. And again, it's the actual labors, the ones that are hands-on, running the chainsaw, dropping the trees, things like that. We're able to get them coverage. If you're involved with like social media, you're an influencer and stuff like that, along with freelance occupations, those are definitely occupations that we can write. And then one that I don't think I've seen any other carriers offering these folks coverage at all are the linemen. So folks that are out there that are climbing the poles and things like that, yeah, they are insurable through Illinois Mutual. So again, just kind of some of the things that we look we write darn near everybody, and that list right there, I think, just kind of helps shows and exemplifies what it is that we do. If I boil it down, just in the last few minutes that we've been talking, what are some things, some takeaways that you can, have those conversations with your clients? Because a lot of times I hear that disability insurance is tough, and I'll just be the first one to tell you, I don't think it has to be. What are things that we as advisors need to make sure that we're doing? Well, DI protects your most valuable asset. That's your income. I think that's an easy conversation to have with our folks. The small business owners, making sure that they know that there's a business expense plan that's out there. And oh, by the way, it's there to help your business survive. If you're unable to go to work, how are you going to keep the lights on? How are you going to cover all those fixed expenses? Well, we've got plans for that. What does DI do? It's not workers' comp. It's not Social Security. It's 24/7 on or off the job coverage. Because again, going back to that, if you've known anybody that's had to claim Social Security disability benefits, it's not quick, it's not easy, it's not painless. And by the time they get their monthly benefit, I've never seen anyone satisfied with the amount that they get. And it's always far less than what they thought it was going to be. And then kind of that last point that I have, because I think the pool that as we got started really kind of signified there's not a lot of DI producers that are out there. Most of the time, the folks that I'm dealing with write a lot of life insurance. So it's not an either or type of opportunity in my mind, okay? Just because you get the life insurance, don't stop and don't think about disability insurance, because really when you think of that total protection plan, if you get sick or hurt, you're unable to work, man, if the person were to have died and they were once that family asset, now they're a family liability, the family might have been in a better financial position if the insured would have died rather than going through a prolonged disability that's out there. Case in point, think about the mortgage default rates that are out there. Vast majority of those are related to, medical ailments that happen to where people are unable to pay their bills, quite simply. So, and another thing, nobody's ever died and then became disabled, okay? If anything, they were disabled beforehand, then passed away. So again, just kind of as you're thinking about that total protection piece, life insurance is hugely important. But I think that equal side of the conversation could be, let's don't forget about what happens if you get sick or hurt and you can't work. That's really where disability comes in. So, I mean, with that, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. Greg, are there any questions that you've seen to come through?
No, I don't necessarily have a way. I'm going to put up a quick poll here in your time,
Awesome.
Dave, to see who wants to be, who does want to get contracted with you guys, and we'll be reaching out to you. But yeah, no, Dave, just thanks for your time today, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, thanks.